Good morning. I'm going to call Millie up, and y'all are going to stand up, and we're going to sing a couple of songs. Yeah.
I'm grateful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I am thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God.
Yeah.
I know you, you are the light of God. You are the joy, you are the love, you are me. I know you, you are the light of God. You are the joy, you are the love, you are me. You know me, I am the light of God. I am the joy, I am the love, I am you. You know me, I am the light of God. I am the joy, I am the love, I am you. You know this, we are the light of God. We are the joy, we are the love, we are one. We know this, we are the light of God. We are the joy, we are the love, we are one.
Oh, yeah. Now you may sit down.
All right.
Right? Not till Fred says you can sit. Can you sit?
They worked on it. They got it all done.
Yeah.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Church of Overland Park. Glad to see you all in person. Glad to see everybody out there on Facebook and YouTube. We're glad that you joined us this morning. Hi, Candace.
Hi, Tiffany.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thank you. It feels really good to be here today. Let's do a few shout outs. So shout out to everybody here. Yay. Let's give ourselves a hand. Woo woo. Thank you, Fred and James and Terry. Good to see you all. And Millie, this is our guest soloist, Millie. Thank you for being here today. Yeah. Thanks also to Stacy Storm for our language interpretation. Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So let's see. Oh, the mask thing.
Oh, with the mask thing? I forgot to do the mask thing. Well, okay, so we kind of probably all know about it. But we're just, working on being safe and courteous and making sure that everybody can be coming here in person as long as we possibly can. So thank you for wearing your mask. And I think everybody knows about our name tag, the way that we're doing name tags. You might see a green dot, a yellow dot, or a red dot, kind of like a stop sign. So green is like, yeah, go ahead and give me a hug. Yellow is proceed with caution. May or may not want that right now. Red is just please say hello to me from a little bit of a social distance, but there's a lot of love in that interaction no matter what. Do I have anything else? Sorry, I thought I knew.
That's good.
Okay, good.
Awesome job.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, in unity, we honor all paths to God. We believe that all people are born in original blessing, and we honor and affirm people of all creed and color, ability, sexual orientation, and gender expression. We preach, teach, and believe in your wholeness as a beloved child of God, and we value the gift of diversity in this world. We come together each week to remember and remind each other who and whose we are. We light the Christ candle as a symbol of the Christ light, always present and brightly shining in each of us. And as we behold the light we are, let us affirm one of Unity's foundational statements of truth. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good.
And can you all also join me with Unity's vision? Together, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And Candace will be reading our daily word today. Thank you, Candace.
Okay. So today's word is inspiration. I move in harmony with the creative flow of inspiration. Sometimes I feel inspired by the words of others, and sometimes I am inspired more by action. Today, I take my inspiration from the story of Charles Fillmore, a businessman who marveled at his wife's complete healing from serious illness. This prompted him to embark upon an intense period of prayer, meditation, and study that led to the founding in 1889 of Unity, which has become a global spiritual community. I take this story to heart and find my inspiration in my feelings of awe and wonder, love, or even healthy curiosity. Feeling an awakening of inspiration within me, I center my awareness in God. Divinely inspired, I move in harmony with the creative flow that blesses the world and my mind, my heart, and my hands. And from Job 32, verse 8, but truly it is the spirit and immortal, the breath of the Almighty, that makes for understanding.
So with a heart of inspiration, let's settle into this day. This is the day that God as us has made, and we rejoice and we are glad in it. We answer our divine calling to be present as the presence. We rest here on holy ground, whether you are in this room or joining us via live stream. Now or in the future, we call you into this moment, honoring the holy ground on which you sit or stand, in which you move and have your being. God first, I am desired to live, move, and have its being as you. For this knowing, this truth, we are so grateful. For this day, which holds the truth in us, we are so grateful. We bring to our heart space the many people who are suffering now from this COVID virus and its variants. members of our own community who are healing now from it, members who have lost loved ones from it. And we open the heart and allow love, we allow life, and we call forth the power of life in the midst of this pandemic. We call forth the power of healing and wholeness to be made manifest. We hold in our hearts compassion and love for those frontline workers known as the medical care community, known as those who serve in the service industry, who have the entire time been the most at risk for exposure. We cultivate compassion for our communities and indeed for the world, who has been pushed and pushed and pushed to the edge of knowing in order to manage this pandemic. For those who dislike that we ask that you wear a mask, we breathe compassion. For those who are not here because you don't feel safe exposing yourself, we extend compassion. For the decisions we each have to make on a daily basis, we extend compassion into the process. And we know the abiding truth that all is well, and we answer to the responsibility for creating a world in which all is well. Peace, love, life. And just when we think it is impossible, we open our hearts even more to peace, love, life for this beloved community. For the peace and the love that we cultivate here, for the life we allow here, is simply a mirror for that which we allow in our own beings, in our own families, in our own communities. More love, more life, more peace, more God. And so it is, and so we are. Amen. Now is the time in the service where we bless our love offerings. We bless the practice of giving from the heart in us that receives. And so in whatever way you make your practice, whether you're giving here today in person, whether you send your checks into the office, or whether you give securely online, call your practice of giving into this moment as we speak our love offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful, and so we are. We welcome back Millie Edwards.
Some say the walls between us stand so tall, they don't see there's just one sun shining on us all. I say we each choose roads to call our own. None of us is traveling through this universe alone, and this circle just goes on It began before us. It will be here when we're gone. And this circle just goes on and on and on, connecting our humanity, joining me to you and you to me. Seasons keep spinning on the wheels of time. We stand, we fall, we struggle up the mountains we must climb. Different dreams may color what we see ahead, but our lives are strung together on a common thread. This circle goes on and on and on. It began before us. It will be here when we're gone. And this circle just goes on and on and on, connecting our humanity, joining me to you and you to me. Round and round and round and round we go. Around and round and round we go. Learn and live and change and grow. Round and round we go. And this circle touches everyone as it crosses every boundary underneath the sun. This circle just goes on and on and on. It began before us. It will be here when we're gone. And this circle just goes on and on and on. And someday we will come to see I am joined to you and you to me.
Thank you, Millie Edwards. Circle goes on and on and on. This is part 2 of Interfaith Musings, where we're looking at different topics from the perspective of different faith traditions. And today, we look at infinite love. And I wonder if you feel like, just from your habits of listening to the radio, if you feel as though perhaps you've already heard everything there is to hear about love. I wonder if in your life experience, if you feel as though you've experienced everything there is to know about love, or if you feel a distinct lack in what you might consider everything there is to experience about love. Infinite love and our access to it compels us in almost everything we do. And I would say it is the belief about our access to it that compels us in everything we do. So do you believe that you have all access to infinite love? Or do you believe that you were a little shortchanged in that department? Oftentimes these beliefs are established in early childhood. So I'm just giving you some space to consider what your beliefs are about that. Silent Unity says you are wondrously made in infinite love. You are wondrously made in infinite love. The Buddha says that when you like a flower, you pick it, but when you love it, you water it daily. When you like a flower, you pick it, but when you love it, you water it daily. The Dalai Lama says, my religion is love. The great prophet John Lennon, all you need is love. In Hinduism, one of the 3 paths to enlightenment is the path of loving devotion, Bhakti Yoga. You may be familiar with this. It's an entire path to enlightenment itself. The Tao Te Ching, now this might sound familiar, the world is transformed by those who love all people just as you love yourself. Does that remind you a little bit of what Jesus, our master teacher, said? Love your neighbor as yourself. The first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, with all of your being, all that you are. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. So these comments about love, with the exception of the Silent Unity comment, the rest are all about the activity of love. Do you notice the action of love, what love looks like in the world? Love your neighbor as yourself. Water it daily. All you need is love. Silent Unity cuts to the chase. You are made wondrously in infinite love. You are made wondrously in infinite love, and therefore, should it not be very easy to love your neighbor as yourself? Should it not be so easy when you love something to nourish it, to feed it daily? And yet, I think that we wouldn't have so many love songs if it were really that easy in practice. You know, a lot of the love songs are really about brokenheartedness, not about the great joyous fulfillment of a love experience. They tend to be about the devastation following a love experience. So let's turn back to the Bhakti Yoga practice as a path to enlightenment, loving devotion. So in this practice, it's all about devotion to something that is seemingly outside of you, a deity or a guru. And you can pick any one of this practice, any deity, any guru, anything, any object. It could be a candle. And to submit loving devotion to it. And it is in this practice which becomes a life, a living practice. You engage this devotion to something that is seemingly outside you so that you are filled with love. So it's almost like a reverse approach to what we teach in unity. You are made wondrously in infinite love, where we want to focus our attention on the original blessing, on our access to the divine, because the divine is in us. This path to enlightenment is about the external focus and devotion and leaning towards something that we experience the infilling. And I think there's something to this because of what I mentioned before. Oftentimes it is our earliest childhood experiences that create and shape our beliefs about love and our access to it, our worthiness of it. Perhaps even early adulthood. As we experience successes and failures, we might begin to shape beliefs around who we are in the world. And are we wondrously made? Are we a failure of a human being? So I think there's something to this practice that allows us to, let's forget the inner dialogue that can be so violent. And let's focus on something, a deity, a guru, something that we can really say, now that is divine. And focus our attention, loving devotion, day after day, thought after thought, in loving and pouring out love. The only way to pour out love is to draw from the infinite wellspring within. So in this act of loving devotion, we draw forth the love that is already in us, and we thereby create that channel and that access, that port or portal, if you will, to infinite love. So it almost becomes an accidental discovery. And by the fact that you are already living it and proving it, you can no longer deny. You can no longer deny access to it. In fact, you have designed your access to it. And then once, and it's why it's the path to enlightenment, because it's not about then you have loved this deity so much, and I'm pointing to the different symbols that we have here. It's not that because I have succeeded in pouring so much love out onto this deity that now I am returned and blessed with enlightenment. It is that I have come into the experience of loving so purely and so truly that I achieve self-realization, that I achieve enlightenment. It is the natural result. Now, I'm not trying to convert you all into Hindu practitioners or Bhakti yoga practitioners. That's not my goal, but it is the purpose of looking at other belief systems, other faith traditions, can be, much like Charles Fillmore did. He was very familiar with all the world religions. And you can't tell me that that didn't influence what he did with unity. 12 powers in the body. Chakra much? So we don't need to be afraid to consider another thought system. And in unity, we tend to be very open to that anyway. But when we bump up against one that seems so reverse, So backwards, not backwards in the sense of wrong, but just backwards from how we position and talk about these concepts. We don't have to readily dismiss it. We can actually allow ourselves to be enriched by it. We can actually open to another way of following our unity teachings, another way of understanding that we are wondrously made in infinite love. So I'm going to ask you to place your hands on your heart if you're comfortable. When we talk about infinite love, when we talk about loving, expressing love, pouring love, devotion, it requires the heart to be open. So I ask you to check in with your own heart. Is it open? Is it closed? Is it somewhere in between? Slightly ajar? And you know right away, you can feel it when we bring the attention to it. So what is the key to opening the heart? And what in the world would cause us to close the heart? So my dear friend, who I don't know at all, but I call him my friend Rob Bell. You've heard me talk about him. Because I could talk all day with him. I just know it if we ever got in the same room together. So I consider him a friend. He says that what closes the heart is fear, resentment, sense of entitlement, and a sense that that which we might hope for is not available to us. And he puts that in the context of sort of the glory days, that what we want in front of us is actually behind us, a belief that we can't have glory days in front of us. Entitlement, thinking that we are owed something. Resentment, which is the practice of feeling something over and over and over again in a negative way. And fear. These are the things that close the heart. So what then opens the heart? Oh, that's good. Being at peace with the risk of life. And because in my mind I'm in conversation with him, I would say being at peace with the risk of love. Because that is life. Love first. The desire of God to self-express. That is love. The power of love, as Charles Fillmore defines it, is desire. And it is known as the quality of God that first desired to express God's self. And what did God do in that expression? You and you and you and you and you and you and you. And all of this. Love, then life. So I would say, all right, Rob, being at peace with the risk of life, but being at peace with the risk of love. And what I know about love, well, it's risky. It's scary. It's dangerous. And I'm looking at my dear wife. And some of you might be avoiding looking at your spouses. Because it is that scary, it is that dangerous, it is that risky. Is your heart open? Is it closed? Are you having an experience of fear, resentment, entitlement? Have you lost hope that that which you desire is before you? Or is your heart open? Because you are at peace with the risk of love. We had a meeting on Thursday in which I stood before some of you and said, I'm standing here open-hearted. by now many of you know that we have a vote scheduled next week in which there will be a vote taken to terminate my contract or not. And I stand here before you at peace with the risk of love. And I don't stand here alone. My daughter is operating the camera today. Jim's out of town with work. My other daughter is serving, teaching our UCOP kids. My wife. And we are at peace with the risk of love. They know what's going on, and they're showing up. So whether I have this and one more Sunday with you, or whether I have 200, 500 Sundays with you, this is my work. Is to release fear, release resentment, release entitlement, release any idea that that which I desire is behind me and not before me, and to remain open to the risk of love. And I invite you, as you prepare for this work next week, as you prepare to cast your vote, I invite you to do the work of opening your heart. I'm not concerned with how you vote. It's not my business. I'm concerned with how you vote. Because if I have 2 Sundays with you, that is my job, is to be concerned with your heart. And it is my commitment. So I ask that you do the work of releasing fear, resentment, any sense of entitlement, any idea that that which you long for is behind you and not before you, that you open your heart at peace with the risk of love, and do the work of being Unity Church of Overland Park. There is so much good here. There is so much love here. The church that operates under the banner of love in action, the banner of love in action. And you do not fail. This community has been through a lot over the last several years, and what that has looked like, some might call a collapse. Some might call a shrinking. Some might experience as a reduction. If we just think of community in terms of numbers, but we know that spiritual community is not just numbers, it's consciousness. We might feel like there's been so much lost, ministers and staff and buildings, location, place, the things that we want in order to carry an identity together, in order to feel safe being risky. And do you hear the paradox in that? There is no safety in risk. So we must release the idea that the glory days are behind us, because that's a choice. That is a choice. What we have before us and in us right now is that for the first time in 4 years, we aren't doing this, we're doing this. For the first time, the board has told me, in 4 years, we are receiving visitors who are staying. So if you want to go by numbers, we are doing this. And in consciousness, we are enduring a pandemic You all have endured change after change after change, and you're doing this. You're loving. For the first time in 4 years, we're doing business and activity and community under one roof. For the first time in 4 years. It's more than Fred up here. And for the first time in a long time, Fred shared with us, he's doing what his soul is called to do. Reverend Eileen, who for some might be part of the glory days that we feel we've left behind, because she was part of a ministry team and a staff that was dynamic, part of a community that was thriving and open and operating under the banner of love in action. She's returning. It's in front of us. We've already began to create a dynamic partnership as a ministry team. It had been years since spirit groups were meeting, and it didn't stop because of the pandemic. It had stopped before that. We've had spirit groups meeting again. We have been, to the best of our ability, Unity Church of Overland Park, despite a global pandemic. Opening, expanding, and it's not comfortable. It's scary. It's risky. So regardless of whether or not I am part of what is before us, I invite you to do the work that is yours to do, to open your heart, to be at peace with the risk of love. You spiritual ninjas. I love you.
All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. I don't know how the song goes. All you need is love. All you need is, there it is, love, love. Love is all you need. One more time. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Let's just take it into meditation, shall we? Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Jacquie. Thank you to all of you as we turn to the Spirit that lives in us, to this love that we connect into, the love in our hearts that we turn to. That informs the love in the world. in the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth. All is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well, all is well. All is well.
Settle in for our time of meditation. Find yourselves relaxed and comfortable. Notice the breath, the sustaining breath of life. Allow it to flow easily through you. If it is comfortable for you, I invite you to close the outer eyes. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, just gently soften your gaze as you open the heart to the vast expanse of the universe, living, moving, and having its very being as you. August 22nd. From the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. I'm only lost if I'm going someplace in particular. A friend was traveling around Europe, training from city to city. Despite her plans, her interest drew her in different directions, and a path unfolded that she couldn't have foreseen. Each point of discovery led to the next, as if some logic out of view were guiding her. During this phase of her journey, though, she often wasn't sure where she was. She never felt lost. It was when she needed to arrive at a certain station at a certain time that she felt she was off course, astray, and at the fringe of where she was supposed to be. All this led her to realize that the more narrow her intentions on any one day, the more she felt behind, late, and lost. In contrast, the wider her net of designs, the more often she felt a sense of discovery. Regardless of where she had to be, it seemed that the more open to possibility and change she was, the more she felt like every moment she came upon was holding a treasure she was supposed to find. Of course, there will always be times that we need to find our very precise way. But more often than not, our image of a destination is only a starting point that we cling to needlessly. When we can free up our sense of needing to arrive in a certain place, we lessen the weight of being lost. And once beneath arriving and beneath our fear of failing to arrive, the real journey begins. With hearts wide open, we allow the real journey to begin. We widen our designs. we allow the natural expansion of spirit to infill us. If nothing else, then motivated by the pure devotion to this spiritual community. Even more, to the pure devotion to your own soul. Love, life, peace. Your soul journey is yours by design. You need not cling needlessly to any preconceived notion of who you should be or what you should do. You are not limited by your past, nor is it a guarantee. You are an unfoldment of the one holy presence in this universe. And this moment is yours for the making. This life, this love, this peace is yours for the taking. Your divine appointment is made manifest as you in whatever way you choose, whatever manner is you. So we release fear, doubt, worry. There is nothing to worry about for the open heart. You are wondrously made in infinite love. So we allow love to do its work.
God is but love, and therefore, so am I. God is but love, and therefore so am I. I can only be what I was created to be, and that is love. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth. All is healed, all is whole, all is well. All is well. Sing with us. In the presence of the one, in the presence of the truth, all is healed, all is whole, all is well, all is well.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, there can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk. Oh yes, I know I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving, and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say, until it shows, I'll pray, and I won't move till I know. Oh, yes, I know that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Can you feel it everywhere? Yes, I know it's everywhere. And I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Can you see it? It's everywhere. Can you feel it? It's everywhere. And I know in my heart, yes, I walk in the love of God. There's a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, there can only be God's love. And oh yes, I know that I walk, oh yes, I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Can you feel it? It's everywhere. Can you see it? It's everywhere. I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Don't move, it's everywhere. Can you see it? It's everywhere. Can you feel it? It's everywhere. Till you see it, it praise God everywhere. You see it, and it's till you know in your heart. Yes, I walk in the love of God. Yes, I walk in the love of God.
Wow. Thank you, Millie. I'd just like to say if I'd have played it the way we rehearsed it, but that was good anyway. It was all me.
Oh, no. Okay, here we go. So next Sunday, Reverend Jacquie takes us into week 3 of Interfaith Musings, Mantra. This service will be a unique experience of working with the Buddhist and Hindu concept of mantra as a tool for meditation. We'll welcome Patrick Andrews with the didgeridoo. Oh, I love that thing. I'm so excited. Okay. And Fred will bring his flute to join soloist Kelly Hunt to lead us in an experience of chanting, meditation, and the practice of mantra. I can't wait. All right. Yeah.
That works.
And World Day of Prayer 2021 is just around the corner on September 8th and 9th. It's Unity's World Day of Prayer, with 24-hour prayer vigils held at Unity centers and Silent Unity across the globe. And this year's theme is All is Well with My Soul. So you can submit prayer requests and download the schedule for this at worlddayofprayer.org, and stay tuned for the details and how UCOP will participate as a community.
Thank you, Candace. Okay, do you sing? Do you dance? Do you tell jokes? Do you read poetry? Do you write poetry? Do you have a creative instinct in there at all? Well, you need to bring it here next Saturday. That would be on the 27th, right? Or Friday the 27th, from 6:30 to 8:30. This is going to be our open mic night at Unity Church of Overland Park, and all acts are welcome, and you don't even have to pre-register. You just show up and let us know what you're doing in the moment. So everybody is welcome to participate in that. It's here at the Plex Pod. It'll be back in that area where we have our hospitality time. And so we hope to see everybody here. Also, I have just a few moments of gratitude. So thanks for all of the folks here who have stepped into love and action today. Our prayer chaplains and our greeters and our name tag volunteers and ushers, and of course our audio-visual people that help everything behind the scenes work the way that it's supposed to work. And for every other volunteer here that is giving your love and time, we really appreciate every single one of you. And lastly, here's our new mantra. We're going to start mantras early. It's our new name tag mantra. Take it off, so it's going to be off, tuck, drop. Can you say that with me? Off, tuck, drop. So take off your name tag, tuck in the strings, drop it off over there. Need we say more? I don't think so. All right.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay, we've got little ones up here, so let's sing them in. We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light.
We are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light
That's
of
okay.
God.
If they put it up there, we'll do it.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I had my two littlest ones, but definitely the most rowdy. But today, we talked about the 12 powers for the first time. And in celebration of learning these powers, we made bracelets themed after them, based on the colors that they are. And we made so many that we want to give some to you guys. So if you will just raise your hand, and these two will go around and start handing out some bracelets. You guys want to go on down? Yeah, just raise your hand, and we'll try to hand out more. Some are string, but most of them are pipe cleaners because the string would fall apart on us. Okay, Forrest, go on down there. Go on down and hand out some. Yeah. Woo! Told you they're jumpy. For those who need a reminder on the different colors' meanings, faith is dark blue, power is purple, order is green, love is pink, imagination is light blue, zeal is orange, strength is light green, understanding is gold, Elimination is brown, wisdom is yellow, will is silver or gray, and life is red. Did you guys hand out all of them? I think Forrest has a few more. There's some over here, Forrest. See those hands? Forrest, look over here. So thank you guys.
Okay.
Joan, can we go back to our mission statement?
Well, I think we, I
Well,
think
we
we
can
know
probably
it.
not. There we
There we
okay.
go.
Oh, no, that's not quite it. There we go. Nope, that's not it either. There, nope, one more time. It's coming,
That's
it's coming.
okay.
Oh,
There it
thank you so
goes.
much. Okay, so can we also say our mission statement together?
Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world.
And thank you. And thank you, Josie, for all of your great work with the kiddos. That was a really neat exercise. Okay, Fred.
Okay.
Now with a peace song.
Let's do the peace song. Let's stand and join hands.
Oh, I forget there's a little introduction to this. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine.